Right, welcome ladies and gents. Ubisoft is completely up shit's creek, especially with Star Wars Outlaws. It released on Steam. Apparently, they're looking to pressure Steam now into removing the concurrent player counts or hiding them, masquerading them, changing them in some way. Because, good God, they're really, really bad. Yeah, they're not good. They're not good. Kind of to be expected. This game just went out, with like a fart and a whimper. That was it. It was done. No one really cared about it. From the controversy of this design to the fact that, it's buggy, to the fact that they've needed multiple... This is the fourth update that they've done. They're now, removing stealth issues or stealth combat, which was a big thing. The mechanics are janky. It's just a really bad game, all in, basically. So, as a bit of a background, this released recently on Steam. And across its first weekend... So, it's important to note is that when a game releases, kind of typically releases midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the first weekend of its release will be the weekend with the most play count, right? And that stands to reason. It's not going to be the day of release if it's midweek. It also gives people the chance to buy it, download it, and then at the weekend when they have more time, hopefully, they can play it. So it stands to reason that is, generally speaking, the highest time or the highest peak concurrent players a game will ever have. It's quite rare that they sort of just keep growing. It's normally that's the peak. People either like the game, keep playing it, or they don't like the game, get a refund, and it just sort of slowly peters out from there. Well, this has failed to hit 2,500 concurrent players in its first weekend on Steam. That's disastrous for a game which Ubisoft admitted to themselves in their own marketing, in their own investors calls, that this had the highest marketing budget of any game ever that they've done. So this is a disaster. There's no really two ways about it. And as you can see here, here's what it was looking at. Yeah, not good. Again, across that weekend where it would have been the highest, it struggled to do even 2,500. I mean, it is really bad. Yeah, not great. Not great by any stretch of the imagination. Well, now it's looking like they are embarrassed by this, and they're apparently trying to pressure Steam into getting rid of their concurrent player count because it's a bomb. And it reflects really negatively on them, investors, and just everything. It's just a real bad look, basically. This is perhaps one of the biggest take-homes from this. So this is Ubisoft Entertainment, and you can see just even today alone, it's not great. 5 days, it's not great. I mean, down 7.5% in 5 days is pretty bad. In a month, down 10.4%. In 6 months, it's been down nearly 45.5%. Again, just disastrous. These numbers are disastrous. Year to date, 48.9%, nearly 50% down on stock, and an entire 1 year, near 60% down. Again, every single time you just keep panning out and out and out and out, it gets worse and worse and worse for this company. It's really bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad, to be honest. So, not good. Not good. And again, this is them essentially lashing out, trying to, I don't know, hide some of the stuff. So it says here, this article's linked down below, by the way, but it says Ubisoft is reportedly pressuring Steam to get rid of its concurrent player count feature following the disastrous launch of Star Wars Outlaws on the platform. This story was first broken by Fandom Pulse, citing an inside source close to Ubisoft that alleged that the company sees such a public display of its failures as embarrassing in front of both players and investors, which, yeah, it's pretty bad. Quote, Ubisoft and other companies want to pressure Steam to stop the tracker from giving out info they want to keep to themselves. They want to be able to present findings to investors so they can make it sound good. So they don't like the transparency of Steam. Basically, that's what it is. Which I can believe it. I can believe it. Star Wars Outlaws, prime example. It's bad. The Trouble title reportedly failed to move 2 million copies worldwide across all platforms. It debuted last week on Steam, and many wondered if the deeply unpopular game would find its audience on PC. It did not. PC is where a game really makes or breaks it. Like, it will live on years and years and years on a PC. And this is a game that Ubisoft wanted to have legs. Like, they wanted it to be a game that had a lifespan of more than 2 months. But it's just not. It's been a disaster. So Ubisoft typically tries to work some revisionist history magic when it suffers a massive failure. For example, in response to the soft sales for Outlaws, it attempted to tout critical response and review scores that favour the title. Ubisoft went as far as to describe this disastrous rollout as the birth of one of, quote, the most immersive expressions of the Star Wars universe ever created to an investor. Now that can sound impressive and inspire the false confidence Ubisoft needs right now. However, due to Steam's transparency, investors obviously can just see you can't spin this, like, at all. Yeah, that was why I was always excited of this being released on Steam. You know, I don't necessarily want this to fail, right? Like, I'd love good content at the end of the day. But the fact that it is so transparent on Steam, and all of the numbers are always there, clear as day for everyone to see, I was always really curious, at the very least, to see what it would do on Steam, whether it would sink or swim. And it appears it sunk. You know, it is what it is, right? What else can you say? It's pretty bad. The title already has 25% off in the Steam store, so it's even discounted, but people don't care. They're not interested. Ubisoft has admitted in the past that to achieve profitability, AAA games need to sell somewhere around 4 or 5 million copies. That means if the 2 million sales figure is true, not only has Outlaws failed to turn a profit, it was never anywhere close. Yeah. So if the rumours are true, it would seem unlikely that Steam would give in to pressure from Ubisoft. The gaming community would be incensed at such an act, as concurrent player counts give gamers an idea of what new games are popular and worthy of a look. Steam allows players to try out new games and return them for a full refund if they have less than 2 hours of gameplay logged. That means the concurrent player count acts as a gateway to a risk-free purchase that Steam should not be willing to give up. I sincerely hope Steam doesn't change this, but we will see. I doubt it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop it down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. We've got lots of people that keep coming back to the channel that are not subscribed. Quite a lot, actually. So it helps the channel out quite a lot, and it tells YouTube you like these videos and tells me you like them. So hit subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye now.